Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be about student accom because a lot of people have been telling me like it's around that time where people are starting to look for accommodation. They're not really too sure what to really look for. There's the stuff on the websites, but you know, like if there's any more guidance, like my experience of looking for accommodation, I'm gonna give it to you. I'll give you 5 tips on... Are they being serious? I'm really trying to do a video and the ice cream van wants to come right now. Okay, 1 second guys. Yeah, so as I was saying, I'm just going to give you 5 tips to hopefully make your accommodation search a lot easier than it needs to be. I'm actually getting mad. Why like must that be now? Okay, it's actually quite sunny today. That's why there's all these light beams going across my face and all of that. But we're not going to focus on that. We're going to get to the point. Point number 1, maintenance. So I was initially going to talk about appearance because, you know, it's always important to know what your accommodation is going to look like, what the space is going to look like, all of that. But that was one of my mistakes that I made when going to university. I was so fixated on the size of the bed, the size of the room, what colours the carpet's going to be, what colours the wall going to be, is a wall going to match this, is this going to match that? I really did not. Like, I wanted fabulous. I need fabulous. That was my mentality. That was what I wanted. And realistically, I didn't need to be doing all of that. But it's really important that you check the maintenance of your room. Check to see what the windows are looking like, yeah? Check to see if your shower's working. Check to see if the heating is working. Check these things because even though you will think, oh, it's a given, sometimes you'll get there and you'll realize, hold on a minute, the website looked like this. Do you know what I mean? So it's always important to check those small things that you probably won't think about, just in case there is an issue. And if there is an issue, they do have maintenance, they do have people to come and fix things for you. So just make sure that you actually read the reports that the student accommodation give you that says what's good with your room, what needs work in your room, and make sure that you get it sorted before you get there. So this is kind of going to be a part of the first thing that I mentioned about maintenance. But if you are a person that's really focused on appearance like I was, you want your room to be looking nice, you're going to be there for like a year, or if you want to stay on, you might be there for longer. So it's really important that your room does look nice and it doesn't feel like a prison cell. If there are certain things that you can compromise, so if money is an issue, or maybe not an issue, but you're just trying not to spend too much, maybe sacrifice things that you may not necessarily need and then use that money to go towards decoration. So I did this unintentionally. I wanted a double bed at university because they have the option of single or double, and because at home I have a double, I thought let me just get a double at uni. And then I ended up getting a single bed because of the whole A-level situation. I ended up applying for accommodation a lot later than everyone else. I ended up getting a single bed, and at the time I was not happy. At the time I was not happy, but when I actually got into my room now and I moved in, I realized that the fact that I had a single bed meant that I actually had more room, and because I had more room I also saved money. So I managed to save money and use that money towards decorations. So they often tell you, oh, you know, when you go to university, maybe print off a few pictures to remind you of home. No, they don't tell you this, yeah, but there's actually an importance of decorating your room, because if you don't, it will feel really empty. So have money aside, even if it's just buying, you know, some LED lights, or if it's buying a cushion, or if it's bringing a blanket from home, or if it's a rug, or if it's, you know, some decorations to put on your shelf. Just make sure that it looks nice, because then it will feel like, okay, this is where I'm staying. Now I'm at home at the moment, so I probably can't give you like a full tour of like what my room looks like, but I can insert a quick video of what my bed area looks like, because I did actually do a video for some reason. So if you are interested, this is literally what the bedside of my room looks like. I've just kind of decorated the bedspread. I have a rug, I have some pictures, I have some LEDs. I've got like a rose gold grey type like color scheme going on. You don't have to be doing that much, but I'm extra. So that is all to do with the appearance and the maintenance. The second thing to consider is reputation. So I have to admit, I did my research, I looked on websites and stuff like that, but I didn't do my research. Like, I did my research, but I didn't do my research. And what I mean by that is, I looked at all the websites, I looked at all the reviews, you know, I spoke to the accommodation people, but I didn't actually go out of my way to ask people that had previously stayed at the accommodation, like, how do you find it? What would you say the reputation of the accommodation is like? The accommodation that I'm staying at, for example, is known to be quite social, quite lively. At the time, I kind of knew, like, oh yeah, it's probably going to be social, but I didn't know. Like, I didn't speak to people that previously went there, heard about their stories, heard about what they've experienced. And I think when looking for accommodation, it's important that you do that, because you don't want to go there and realize, yeah, like, these aren't my people, this is not what I really signed up for. Make sure that you actually do your research. So the next thing is cost. So I kind of touched on this in the first thing, but I was kind of saying, like, think about some of the things that you don't actually need, some of the things that you're willing to sacrifice, but then also think about the things that you do need or you strongly want. For example, I knew for certain that I wanted to have my own bathroom. I didn't mind sharing a kitchen. I didn't mind having a single bed. At the time, I was a bit frustrated, but I was all right with that. I'm only 5'4". I really like it looks like a double bed when I'm lying on it anyway. So I was more considering the fact that, like, there are some things I need, there are some things I strongly want, like having my own bathroom, but there are some things that I didn't really need. So when it came to cost, rather than getting the top of the top of the top, I'd be like, well, you know, I don't really need to have like a studio and have my own kitchen. I can share a kitchen. That in itself is less money. Okay, I don't need that size bed, less money. I don't need this, less money. I don't need catered, less money. So in that way, you're kind of saving a lot more. And there's also different price ranges within accommodation as well. So make sure you don't just look at that specific accommodation. Make sure you look at a range of accommodations to see what their pricing is like. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is location. My accommodation, I knew that I'm going to be studying in the business block for my course. So my campus is about, I would say, 10 minutes away from my accommodation, so it's very, very close. I also know that if I need to do any shopping, because I am self-catered, the nearest supermarket is probably about 5 minutes, depending on how fast you walk. But I've literally got a Lidl like right here. I've got a B&M and Aldi right here. I've got a lot of choices. So if I did want to go shopping, it's not that much of a walk. There's 2 bus stops. There's a bus stop 2 minutes away from my accommodation, which takes me straight to main campus. And then I've also, not far, I'd say about 5-10 minute walk, got the bus stop that leads into town. So I would say the location of my accommodation is perfect for me, because I don't like walking that much. Like, I really don't like walking that much. If you don't mind that, you can pick an accommodation anywhere, it won't matter. But I think maybe next year, by the time you guys get to university, you will actually have to go in for lectures and seminars and stuff like that. So I would say kind of figure out how far it's gonna be for you to get to your lectures and get to your seminars, and also if there's like shops, and you get the gist. Okay, and the final thing that I'm going to go through is, are you going to be going for catered or self-catered? So the main difference between these is, with catered, the university provides food for you, whereas with self-catered, you have a kitchen which you either share, or you have your own kitchen and you make your own meals basically. The main differences that they probably won't tell you on the website is, with catered, it could determine the location of your accommodation. So for example, you might end up living on campus rather than off campus, because they need you to be living near a food hall. So you can't live off campus and be catered because there's no food halls local. That kind of is determined by your university though, because they may have food halls off campus that you can go to, but majority of the universities, the food hall is on campus, so you need to be living near the food hall center. So I live about 5 minutes away from a Lidl, so if I go there, I can buy my own food, I can cook my own food. I'm responsible for eating. If I choose not to eat that day or choose not to buy food that day, it is what it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
I mean, that's literally it. You're responsible for when you eat, what time you eat, whereas with catered, you have certain times that you're supposed to eat, you know, so you have breakfast time, lunch time, dinner time, and it's very structured. Whereas with self-catered, if you're the type of person where you're having breakfast at 6 p.m, then I would say self-catered, you know, you have that flexibility to do what you want in terms of your food. I think when I went to the catered hall one time, I don't know why I went there. I'm self-catered, but my friend was catered, and I thought, let me just see what it looks like. I went in there. They seem quite flexible with the type of food that they do. They seem to also have variety, and they also take allergies into consideration. But I would say also, if you are very picky with the type of food that you eat, and you know that the type of food that you eat is not going to be in the university catering hall, then I would say self-catered is probably the way to go. So it's completely up to you what you choose, but that's the final point. I think the final thing that I would say is, in my experience of accommodation search, it's really important that you not only look at the website, but you also look for yourself to see what the accommodation looks like. If you can't physically travel there, what I did was I asked the university to send me pictures of the type of room that I'm going to be getting, so I could look at what, you know, it looks like, what the bathroom looks like, that type of stuff. So I would say definitely check out what your accommodation is going to look like. That's it. If you have any questions, make sure to leave a comment down below, and if you already are at university, let me know what your experiences have been like in terms of accommodation, because I'd actually want to know. Also, make sure to like, comment, subscribe and share. If you know that someone's going to be going to university soon and they're kind of looking for accommodation, send them this video. And that's it. Until next time.